people.
Greetings. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I am Alquamar. I am your host. This is
Hanifa. Welcome.
my special co-host, and you are tuned in to the Empower Hour, where we take hot topics of discussion every single Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. and we hash them out with your help. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. A little bit about where we are. This is the eLife Media Studio, located inside of the Everlasting Life Restaurant and Lounge, 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. So you can definitely come and visit us here during normal business hours, which is 7 days a week. And the hours are from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays. This is the main hub of 3 locations, actually. So Everlasting Life is the main hub. And then there is 2 other restaurants located in your Tacoma Park section of Washington, D.C. That is the Evolve Restaurant and Lounge, as well as Vigoritos. Now, if you are joining us on elifemedia.net, you will see this beautiful, colorful flyer. Deja Vu Thursdays is taking place at Evolve starting this Thursday from 5 to 9 p.m. It's a special happy hour. Buy one, get one free rail cocktail. So I don't know what that is. What's a rail cocktail? Sounds sure. Interesting though. But anyway, if you're in or around that area, stop in on Thursdays to get your special cocktails at Evolve Restaurant and Lounge. That's 341 Cedar Street Northwest in Washington, D.C. All right. So we're going to hop right in.
Yes, let's do that.
Our topic of discussion today is on sisterhood.
Yes.
And the mighty, powerful, impactful sisterhood and what that really means.
Yes, what that means.
Yeah.
Why is it even important?
Why is it even important?
Exactly.
And again, family, we need your help on Facebook. So we are taking questions via telephone or your comments right here on the downstream. We do want to hear about what you have to say about this topic of discussion, men and women, because the mighty power of sisterhood, we need the brothers as well.
Yes.
You know, for that cohesive unit. So yeah, so we definitely don't want to leave them out.
No, not at all.
So what does that mean to you? Why is it important? You think?
We can start with what is sisterhood.
Okay.
When we say sisterhood, what exactly are we speaking of? What are we
Mm-hmm.
talking about? What are we trying to say?
Okay.
And I see sisterhood as unity, okay, among females.
Okay.
I also see it as empowerment. You know, working together towards an intended goal as well, right? And love. Love, you know. That's pretty much how I would define sisterhood. Women coming together under the banner of love, empowerment, accountability, with one intended goal, or probably multiple goals. You know,
Right.
we're working towards them together.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a whole, overall, in our community in particular,
Yes.
do you see that? Is that currently taking place?
I feel like there are little sects within the community that practice genuine sisterhood.
Okay.
Collectively, I think sometimes we allow our differences to become a barrier to sisterhood.
Okay.
You know, so we when we focus more on our differences and more than what we have in common, that's where, you know, the division sets in. Yeah.
Yeah, Judah says it's a slippery slope. What do you have any examples of what kind of barriers would come in between us becoming closer as sisters?
Yeah. Oh, yes. No. We as African American, right, of Africans in the diaspora, right, as Black people, we have so many stereotypes right, out there as far as black people. But we also have a lot of stereotypes in our community as far as different nationalities. Because when we say black, we say race. That's race. But then you have within the race different nationalities, right? And this can present an issue at times, right? If we're not open to learning each other's cultures, and we rather use it to divide. So a good example would be when we make really blanket statements when we're talking to each other. And they call it like throwing shades. Well, you know how I'm from the Caribbean. You know how those Caribbean people are. You know how those Caribbean women are.
Or those Africans.
Yes, or those Africans.
So arrogant.
Right. Yes. So that's just one example that is very common.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, and I think you took it on a global scale, which is great. That's the way your mind functions, which is a compliment. When I think of it, I'm thinking more community-based with the sisterhood within the African community here in America.
Got you. Okay.
And I agree. I agree that there are definitely some challenges within our group that causes us not to be as cohesive as we ought to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for very different reasons. I think the trust factor is a big issue, and I think especially just when it comes to even like something as shallow as outward appearances.
Yes, but that's as shallow as it is. It's a big one.
Yeah,
it's a huge one.
Yeah,
but I also think a lot of it has to do with not just social engineering, but just conditioning. The way that we're conditioned, the things that we place value on in our community is also an issue. If you place value on what someone wears on their back, who are you wearing? What shoes? How much were they? Where did you buy it from? What name brand bag is that? Those things that you place value on. I don't know if it was you I was talking to where people say, oh, that's so out of season. What does that even mean? I don't even
right.
I don't even get that.
The trend. So if you're not following the trends,
if you're not following the trend
of the day, then you're on the outskirts.
Exactly. Women can use that to sort of outcast each other. And then we're cliquish sometimes.
Yeah. Very
cliquish, and then very protective of those cliques.
Yeah. So I like to always dig into the root of our matters because I believe that unless we do that, we won't understand why we do the things we do. So we'll hear these things, oh, we're cliquish, oh, we're this and we're that, but we don't understand why we are these things. Right. So I think going to the root in the heart of the matter of our issues helps us to clarify what the problem is so we can better understand moving forward. So it's like, oh, I understand why I do that now, so I can't do that no more. Let me try something new. So with that being said, what do you guys think is the root of why, like for instance, women are so cliquish? What do you guys think? You got any, what you think, Hanifa? If you dig into the root of why, has it always been this way? Are we just griping on an issue that has been around since the dawn of time? Or is this a newfound something or another? Here we are in the in this place called America, right. Which none of us, had opted to be here on our own accord, but here we are. And we're, in this environment, in this culture, and we do a lot of things that is not of our natural culture, because we are African people. And so now we've taken on another culture, and so we take on their norms and their things that they do within this culture. Right. So does that have anything to do with where we find ourselves in this dilemma that our sisterhoods aren't as close as they should be? Like I think about the village scenario over in Africa. Right. How we like to speak on how we were village people. A community was so big for us, right. And we helped each other out all the time. Right. And like if a woman got pregnant and had a baby, it was the sisters who came around her and made sure that, while she was healing and the baby was eating, that they had everything they needed and all that kind of stuff. And what happened? Or is that still happening?
I mean, I think there are those natural things that women have, not just black women, but just women in general. Just like there are those natural things that men have, not just black men, but men in general. I personally, from my observation, I noticed a lot of the jealousy that can manifest itself in sisterhood circles, in women, comes from a place of lack. To me, I always say that. Well, the idea of lack. You think that there's lack. You think that there's not enough to go around. I see that over and over and over again. You go to you have a female that went to college. They both went to college. It's like you come out. You don't have to compete, but you think you do. And so you see your sister as a competitor versus a sister.
So again, with that being said, is that something we learned? In a capitalistic society?
Absolutely, yes. I was just going to say that plays a part in it as well.
Because that's kind of like the whole premise of capitalism.
But not only that, in a male-dominated society, how does that affect us as females to compete? When it comes to competing, how does that affect us? You gotta think about that as well, because then it's sort of like to compete in a male-dominated society is almost like you have to take on the characteristic of masculine, oftentimes.
In order to compete, you saying?
Well, that's the idea.
Okay.
So for example, we could often see women who are on top, right? They have this this persona about them. It's like really, really like aggressive.
Okay.
Sort of like we will say strong.
Okay.
Or and some people will say, oh, she's a B. She becomes a B because she's functioning just like the men around her are, but in female form. So then she's labeled a B, right? Or how I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of like how does that has to have an impact in how we relate to each other as women,
as sisters.
Yes. And then you put in the male dynamic. You put in the male dynamic in the black community. I know we outnumber our men. I know.
Right.
Whether it's mass incarceration,
right.
death, I mean.
Right.
So there's a competition there as well.
For sure.
For what's left.
For sure. For sure. That is true.
No, that is absolutely right,
And we compete for what's left.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And that tears us apart.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not willing to share, which goes into another one of my questions too, that I was talking to Doc last night, and he had broached this subject up, and I'm like, we're not going there. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe we should go there. Well, what am I so afraid of? So about what was it? Sister wives. What do y'all think about sister wives? Going into your point of competing.
No, it came to my mind. I just didn't want to say it, but go ahead.
For men versus taking on a relationship of a sister wife scenario. And I hear y'all now. Oh, no, she didn't. No way in HELL hockey stick am I going to, share my man and all that kind of stuff. But and I feel you. Trust and believe. I feel you. I have some, reservations.
I don't feel you.
I had some reservations about that. Would you stop? But when it was broken down to me from someone who was in that relationship at one particular point, it made a whole lot of sense. It came to it really got me to thinking about like, whoa, because we look at it as such a physical.
When we say sister wife, can we be clear? Are you saying polygamy? What are we saying here?
We're saying multiple women with one man.
Okay, got it.
Right. You saying you don't have reservations on that?
I have. Okay, so. So I'm just going to be very honest. Looking at the condition of our community. It's sort of what led me down that road.
Okay.
So I started to do a lot of research on it and listen to people who have been there, listen to people who are for it, and without judgment.
Right.
And I've gained a respect for it and an understanding. However, what I've also realized is that a lot of us, it's a change in consciousness as well.
For sure.
A lot of us are not ready to talk about that.
Right.
Because we have to change our thinking. I can go on a YouTube video right now and someone is discussing polygamy or sister wives, and there's always some perversion that's injected.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to get to the point.
Yes.
Because our first initial thought, because it was for me as well, always goes to the physicality of what that means. Oh my God, he's going to be sleeping with me and other women? No way. Oh my God, I got to share, you know what I'm saying, my house? No way. Oh my God, da-da-da-da-da. But again, as I'm with you, it was broken down to me and explained to me and unbiasedly, and I took the time to listen to the other side of that argument, and I was like, whoa, well, wow. When you put it that way, it makes sense.
But that goes back to the way we're socialized too, as well as women, right? Or just in general, when it comes to the idea of love.
Right.
Okay? The way that we're socialized. And then it's almost like we pursue people for two reasons, for either possession or consumption. You know, I'm after you because I want to make you mine, right? And then you go, and that's where the whole idea of monogamy, okay? That's mine. No one else can have it. It belongs to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how we view monogamy, right?
My
By the way, yes, which
My
is
woman.
Possession to a certain extent.
Okay.
So we have to attack that. And what does that mean? Where does that come from? Because truly, we cannot own any person. We may think we do. Whether it's through marriage or absolutely. So we have to really, really talk about that. And I think the reason why a lot of women are set against polygamy and sister wives is because there's a seed of the feminist movement that have affected all of us, whether we realize it or not. We make polygamy and being sister wives all about the man. We focus all like, oh, well, he gets all he wants out of it. That's how we focus, and it's not about that. You know, if you truly understand, it's about building.
Right.
You know, it's about building. And in the condition that our community is in right now, we might need to really look at that. And so
y'all can see what's going on.
Right.
Yes,
right.
And that's how it was explained to me.
Right.
It was explained to me like, you know, the ratio, if we are about building up and empowering the Black man and woman, that, you know, that particular piece right there shouldn't be ignored. Shouldn't be ignored because it's like, okay, so like you said, the ratio, we all know we all should know the ratio. There was a study done recently at a very reputable source put out in the airways to show how it's 10 women to every 8 Black men in this country. What you mean, no? That's not the number? Oh, well, chime in. I want to hear this.
I think you're probably more like
10
10 to 1.
women to 1 man.
Yeah. It's very for the Black community.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the study was on the Black community. They went into the mass incarceration. They went into the death. You know, the death rate among Black men is so much higher than anybody else in the country.
And they came up with 10 to 8.
10 to
8 is
8.
pretty high.
Yeah. So there's 8. There's 10 women and there's 8 men. Yeah, I disagree. Now, I'm talking across the nation. We're not talking pockets.
No.
Okay, well, I didn't do the study. I was just reading on it, so I could be wrong.
I mean, I think it's much lower for the men.
Okay.
Right. I think first I would say 10 to lower than 8, definitely.
Okay.
That's just from looking around and reading different things. I know it's way high.
Khalif says 10 to 1 too.
Yeah.
Whoa, come on,
Yeah.
where y'all get that number from? Really?
Where you got
10 to 1? So there's 10 women to every 1 man? Good God. Again, so that even feeds the argument of the whole polygamy.
My question to our people is this. Most of us growing up, we have actually I don't even want to normalize the idea of infidelity and deceit It's almost like we normalize, we've made it okay. But when you talk about this topic, it's so, there's a bunch of emotionalism that's introduced, and it's so touchy. And I'm like, you know your grandfather's side piece. You know her. You know his other family.
Children sometimes are bored and everything else from it.
This has been going on in our and by the way, it is detrimental to our community. That deceit that's involved, that we've normalized, is detrimental.
Yeah.
But the minute you bring up a topic where you're saying everyone is honest involved, you know, and then you focus on the building aspect, they can't even get to that. They can't even get to the building part of it
because of the connection of my. Because,
and the competition thing that we you know we get into. And then someone said that there were certain I don't know if this is across the board. You guys can help me out. Where tribes practice the idea of polygamy was introduced because the whole ratio that we're talking about, where the men were going out to war, they were dying. They got together. They decided that, you know, this is how we're gonna keep the community going. This is how we're going to, because it's more women than men. So this is what we're going to do. And so someone is like, someone was telling me, well, we're not there. We're not at war. I was like, says who?
We're not at war.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Says who? Are we missing something?
Whoa.
That is the same concept. There's
That's
a decrease in our men. That's a decrease in our men. So
that's war.
Why can't that be on the table as one of the solutions? Why not? Why do we just push it aside?
Emotionalism, again, you know, and I'm big
and
on
possession. We swear we own somebody.
Which is emotionalism.
She not getting my man.
We're afraid. I think a lot of it is we're afraid to touch into those emotions.
But you know, that goes back to sisterhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if we can master sisterhood, we can embrace this concept that we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the family, because y'all on fire. Let's get the family in on summer. Khalif said it's 36-1, Khalif, in DC. The men to women. Good God Almighty. Oh my goodness.
In DC what?
It's 36 women to every one black man. Wow, I have to get.
In DC.
I would be curious to know where y'all got this information from, but wow.
That's pretty high, but I could still see it being high in DC.
Let's see. Nationality theory, okay, let's see. Judah said it can be confusing, and I have some points to make on this topic. What's your points, Judah? Just belch out, you guys. What is hood? Stanley. Well, I guess that's a good question. I guess sisterhood. He said, what is hood in the sisterhood? Anybody got an answer for Stanley? Hood, like neighborhood. Community is what you would think it would be. Let's see. Separate sisterhood from goddess worship. What's the difference? I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Jamar says, what are some stigmas that carry sisterhood, and how do we debunk those? Oh, okay. So we kind of went over some of the stigmas, I think. What do you guys think some of the stigmas is? What do you see out there that's really affecting our relationships as women, being able to come together and work together to build, to build up? What are some of the challenges so we can hash that out and fix them? Bring in spirituality, Judah says. Without that, it becomes ego and self-worship.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's a good point, Judah. And I think that has a lot to do with a lot of the troubles in our community, is that we have, I call it the white Jesus effect. I think so many of us, when we got to the understanding and the clarification that Jesus was not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, I think we got so disgusted that we threw everything out. Everything. I don't want nothing to do with none of that. Right. And I'm like, pause. Wait a minute now. There was spirituality, religion, and all that was encapsulated in our culture long before we got on these shores.
Absolutely.
So you can't just throw away, because for me, when you throw all that out, I hear people say, burn the Bible. I'm like, hey, who made that Bible? I understand the translation. I understand it was translated later down the road. I get all that, but where did this book originate from? Where did the story, all these beautiful stories, whether fiction, real or fake, they're still very beautiful stories and good to encapsulate in your everyday life that'll help you in your life. Why do we want to throw all that away? You know?
I think it's there's the stages of grief and
Okay.
loss,
Okay.
and anger was one of those stages.
Mm.
You know, and I
Mhm.
think we all go through that when we have found out that we've been lied to,
Yeah.
whether it's deliberate or not. But I think we get to the anger stage, and it could be depressed. It could be depression. It could just be where you just start attacking everything that was connected to the whole idea of Christianity, anything,
Religion.
yeah,
all
religion,
that.
all of that. So I think there is a stage of anger
Yeah.
that can happen.
Yeah.
And you got to go through that. You got to walk through that.
Good point.
You know?
I agree. I was there. I don't think I threw everything away. I don't think. I may have. I may have went back and
I
picked some
didn't.
stuff back up.
I
You know?
still got stuff.
Yeah. But I went through that anger phase, boy. Woo! I was fiery angry. And I let it be known. But then I came, like you said, the stages. Then I came to a more of an acceptance phase. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
That's the coping stage.
yeah, let me figure this all out for myself
Yeah.
because this angry part ain't helping either,
Right.
So let's see. Thank you, Judah, for that thought. Let's see. Focus on the nature of our differences. Okay. Who is this? Judah again. He says, focus on the esoteric nature of our differences. We need to focus not on BLM,
Black
but
Lives
on what is happening to the black family.
Black Lives Matter.
Is that Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
Okay. The black family will, with transgender and other factors, this is a problem. That's another point that I had on my list to talk about. Not knowing the self. Khalif said, yeah, that's a big thing. I think that's why we get so caught up in the emotionalism of things because we don't know why we get emotional.
And not only that, I think as black people, our relationship with sex is a part of this too.
It's distorted.
Yes, completely.
It's distorted. It's
Yeah.
sickening.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm sorry.
No,
but
you're
go
fine.
ahead, break
No,
that
you're
down.
fine. No, I was just saying our idea of sex it's just mainly physical.
Mm-hmm.
We just look at it on the physical plane, and that's it. We don't go any deeper than that, And so if we treat each other like that, as far as male-female dynamics, you know what I mean? Then this trickles over into us having true, genuine sisterhood, positive
Yeah.
sisterhood, because then it becomes an issue of, that's what I said, it goes back to possession.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, his body belongs to me.
Mm.
My body belongs to him. To the idea, and this is then injected into even talking about sister-wise. We look at it as sharing
Right.
a man, right?
Right.
This topic is so funny to me. I just can't.
I know we can do a whole show on
you know
just
why?
that.
You know why?
Really.
Because it's like, sweetie, you were sharing the whole of last year. Like that.
But just didn't know it.
No, you knew. Just didn't care. But all of a sudden you care. Because now you're trying to put it out in the public. So what is it really about here?
Yeah.
It's about what your image is.
Yeah.
What you look like to people.
Yeah.
Because you've been sharing secretly all that time and you knew about it.
Yeah.
You didn't take yourself out of the situation. So it goes it goes back to that competition and how we view sex in our community, purely physical consumption, possession.
Right. Without understanding that the whole purpose of sex to begin with is recreation. So that whole concept is like completely off to the side these days.
You mean reproduction?
Well, reproduction.
No,
Yeah.
no, okay. Yeah, because I was going to say that's the thing. We do sex is strictly recreational for us, but you're not saying recreation, you're saying recreation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, to create other human
Yeah.
beings to reproduce,
Yeah.
multiply on this earth, and we take it as the straight physical, straight. Would you stop it? We're trying to have a show here. I'm sorry, family. So, without understanding nature, the dynamics of why we are here. We're not here to just please ourselves and that be that. We are a community. We are, all this. Whatever I do affects you and everybody else around me. It's not just all about me. So again, the whole sisterhood concept of togetherness. That it's so much. It's so much that we battle with. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, as women, we can do a better job at building each other up, at empowering each other, because the whole benefits from that.
Yes.
Our families benefit from that, because
Right.
the women play a major part in community building.
Right.
A major part in that,
For sure.
For sure, creating extended family
Right.
outside of your nucleus family. You know what I
Right.
mean? We play a big role in that. We can do a much better job at building each other up, empowering each other, encouraging each other, holding each other accountable. That is a huge
Ooh,
one.
another one. I ain't none of my business.
Yes.
That ain't none of my business.
Yeah, and not only that, because you're my friend, we encourage. You see this a lot in the whole co-parenting dynamic, for example. Which our next show is going to be about.
Yeah.
You see the maybe a relationship split up. You go to the friend. You go to your friend, and that sister then encourages the hostility that's between you and that male, right? Instead of just trying to show you, yes, he's wrong, but where have you
So the girl, leave him
contributed?
alone. You can do better.
You
syndrome.
can exactly.
Girl, leave that man alone. You can do better than that.
Exactly.
Da 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 da. And meanwhile, a lot of the ones who say that are in miserable relationships themselves.
Right. We need to hold each
or
other
none.
accountable. We need to
Yeah.
be able to say, Alkema, be able to say to you, Alkema, no, that was wrong. And know that even, I'm saying that in love.
You
and both
big
of
on
us.
that. By the way, this woman will tell me about my stuff. Y'all hear me? I'm like, it might not even like how I feel.
But you know what that starts
I
with?
respect that.
Yes, but you know what it
I
starts with?
respect
It
that.
starts with self-accountability. If I cannot hold myself accountable, I cannot
Right.
hold those around me accountable.
Good teacher.
And a lot of it is, a lot of us have not done the work on ourselves as women in holding ourselves accountable, in looking at where we've erred, in looking at how do we contribute to certain things that have happened in our lives. Outside, male-female dynamic, putting everything on the guy. If he didn't do this, my life wouldn't be. But you have a responsibility.
Yes.
You have something called choice.
Yes.
Right? And holding each other accountable to make better choices. But it starts with
Yes.
me. I self-analyze a lot.
You do.
So for me, and I self-reflect a lot. So for me, I know I do it with myself. So I'm much more comfortable doing it with
Yeah.
my friends.
Yeah.
Because if
and
you
I think it takes a level of maturity too to
Yeah.
accept that.
Yeah.
Because some people, again, this emotional that we will jump on the defense and we will make excuses or we will get real combative when people are trying to tell us out of love the cold, raw truth about ourselves. And we don't want to hear it. And that you can't heal that way. You really can't. Because how? If you're not even willing to accept that this is messy over here, and I know it's messy. Somebody's telling me it's messy who loves me and wants better for me, but I don't want to hear that. Then how are you gonna ever fix the mess?
Right.
You can't fix the mess if you're not even willing to accept that there's mess. Judah says, black women. Judah, I think you've been cheating on my paper over here because everything you saying, you and Khalif, is going into some of the questions that I had. Black women have moved away from their function or role based on the white culture of activities and work, which rolls right into another question, and which was, did the woman have more power when she was a stay-at-home caregiver versus today?
Power?
Or we can play around with that word.
No,
not
I'm just
stuck on that,
thinking,
you know?
what is that?
Yeah. Or let's put it this way. Was our relationships more healthier overall when the woman was the main caregiver and stay at home and the man went out and worked and functioned and did that part?
Our relationships as far as woman to woman relationship, or the family dynamic, like male-female relationship? Which relationship?
Well, I would say both, but
Both,
in
okay.
the interest of time, the family dynamic.
Yeah, of course. I think it was much more solid. Yeah.
So what does that mean then? So does that mean that, what we're doing is destructive to the family dynamic?
I think that in quote unquote accepting ourselves as women, we went to the extreme. This is why I struggle with the whole feminist movement
Okay.
because there's a lot of extremities involved in that.
Okay.
I think we went to the extreme.
Mm.
It's either or, but I think we need to find a balance. That's what's missing. We don't have a balance. And the reason why we don't have a balance in our families is because we don't have a balance within our own selves.
Mm.
Everything starts within us.
Yeah.
You know, we focus a lot on the family and all of this type of stuff.
Right.
But what we need to realize is it has to start within ourselves. A lot of us are living out of balance.
Yeah.
And so there is no balance in our lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yes, I think that the family unit was much stronger then. You know, I think it still can be now, no matter what path a woman chooses. Now, if you're consumed with success, that's going to take most of your energy. That needs to be that needs to be utilized for the building of family.
I can vouch for that.
Right? So even that is balance. So you can go have a career but still have a balance. I know women right now that have PhDs that chose to be stay-at-home moms until their kids get to the school age. They can go there and work and make six figures anywhere, you know, but they choose to stay at home and care for their kids until they reach a certain age. You know, it doesn't devalue you.
Yeah, I had to learn that. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. You know, just my own personal experience. I sold real estate for 10 years, and I was good at it. I was good. You know, I was number 2 agent and top in the office of over 100 agents. But that came with a price.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, and it felt, for me, the higher I went in sales and recognition and all that, the more I wanted. Now I had 2 children at home.
It's
you
never
know,
enough.
You know, although I had a good man there, I was never married, but I had a good man there to help support the mothering for my children. That they really lacked something in my desire to excel and succeed and all that. And I'm looking back. I'm no longer doing real estate. My children are both grown, but I recognize how different things could have been had I took more time and attention on them, you know, as opposed to being selfishly looking to, you know what I'm saying, do all this myself. And I still could. I think, you know, I love my life. I love what I do, you know, and I think, you know what I'm saying, the things I do now, you know, are you know, they bring me pretty much the same financial success as back then, but I didn't see it all that way. I was tunnel vision. And the children do suffer.
That experience you can share with another sister that you see going on the path.
Yeah.
You know, you can talk, you can say, hey, I've been there. You know,
sure.
and I'm telling you, your family is going to suffer because of it. It's balance.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
And no one is saying that, you know, there are some women who choose to have overnight jobs.
Right.
You know, something is still being sacrificed because you're not sleeping at home.
Right.
In the bed
Right.
with your significant other, but you're able to be home during the day to care for your kids. It's teamwork.
It is.
It's teamwork, you know.
It
And of course, most people is like, you know, you work overnight, you're not home during the night to do what? To sleep. I go in at 11 o'clock unless you make sex the center of your relationship. And I am not saying it is not important. Please, that is not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm saying that there are more important things as far as building family. So there are sacrifices that can be made.
Good point.
You know, and most women, it becomes about making money. How much money you can make.
It was for me.
Right. Because in their
and it's
mind,
never
that
enough.
status,
It's never enough.
Exactly.
When you get into that whirlwind, it's for me, you know, and I watch it with other people. You know, you never get to a point where you say, oh, let me relax now. I done had enough. No, it's like anything else. The more you do it, the more you want. I wanted to take the studio hotline number if you guys want to chime in because I see the stream is on fire today, and I'm hoping we can get to all of you guys. But it's better if you call in so we can get your voices right here on the stream. And we want to go back right into a little bit more about what we're doing here at Everlasting Life. We have we do what's called a dinner and a movie night each and every Friday night, where we take we take a new documentary and we air it on all different topics. Every Friday is free. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. The movies start promptly at 7 p.m. because what we do is we do a discussion, a community discussion after each movie. So this Friday, we'll be airing the Black Wall Street documentary. And if you guys are friends of mine on Facebook, you've seen last week sometime I posted a few streams on this movie. Some information. I thought I had everything I knew about phones ringing, Doc. I thought I knew everything there was to know about Black Wall Street. Oh, how wrong was I? So this documentary really goes into the heart of what happened, how it happened, the after effects. We know the what happened on the ground zero information about what took place during that race riot. So again, that's this Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Come join us here at Everlasting Life for that. Bring a friend along with you. Okay, we'll be airing that. Solstice. Every first Saturday of the month, we do what's called a Solstice Shopping Bazaar, where we take the dining in area and we fill it with vendors, and people come out and they shop till they drop. All types of different craft vendors come out and show their wares. You see Hanifa's earrings. Hanifa, show them your earrings.
Oh, I don't know if they can really see.
She makes these earrings herself.
A multicolored stud piece of the continent of Africa. Yes, I do make them myself. I make statement earrings.
Yes.
And if you're interested, you can check out my Etsy shop. It's called Things for the Journey 9.etsy.com. That's thingsforthejourney9.etsy.com.
Right. So she's here sometimes at the Solstice Shopping Bazaar with her things for sale, as well as a lot of other vendors. But we're revamping the whole idea of the solstice. And so upcoming, we're going to change the name and everything else. But right now, what we're doing is we're taking different special guests. We're bringing a special guest in every solstice, and we're going to take the shopping part of the bazaar, and we're going to make the special guest the main theme, and the shopping is around the special guest. So this coming solstice, we have two dynamic special guests coming. They both are chefs, celebrity chefs. Lauren Vanderpool, you guys may know her. If you don't, check her out on you can Google either one of these, or Chef Keeti. So he's very popular as well. So they are both celebrity chefs. They work with a lot of the celebrities in Hollywood. And there's Lauren is going to be doing a free cooking demonstration. And Chef Keeti is going to be doing a free demonstration on healthy eating, the foods you eat can help cure your diseases and ailments. So that's coming up for Saturday, August 5th, right here again at Everlasting Life from 12 to 6 p.m. Lauren goes on with her cooking demo at 2, and Chef Keeti comes on at 4 p.m. And all the vendors will be here, so we would love to have you guys for that as well. The eLife Media slide, if you see what we're doing here, if you think that your voice needs to be heard and you have information you want to get out there to the airwaves, contact us on eLife Media here. They do rent the studio out for different shows. So yeah, join us there. And if you watch me and Hanifa's show and you're a business owner and you wanted to get your product or service out there to a lot more people, contact us as well. Yes. So we're available. We have the technology here in the studio that we will be able to post your logos or post a little information about you. Or if you even wanted to just come in to the studio and discuss what you have for sale or your product or service right here on the show, we are available to discuss that as well. So reach out to us for that. Okay, so it looks like we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller?
How you talk? Hello?
Hello, how you doing? What's your name, sir?
You can hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, this is Khalid Sharif Fatum Ali.
Oh, hey, Khalid, where are you calling from?
A lot of the issues that you all are speaking about are very valid. The only reason why we're suffering because what gives you a right to do these things is the Constitution. Mm-hmm. Unlike most people of the understanding. Okay, say like for instance, your co-executive, co-star worker, she has on a black dress, right?
Yes.
Truthfully speaking, she has a nation that she belongs to. Now, if it's a real such thing as black people, that means it'll be a constitution that support these people worldwide. And then as though it's no such thing as a black man because her skin is brown, and what they mean by this word black is really universally should be called Moors. Now, they took the adjective black to describe Moor.
Right.
Now, if you look up Negro, it's no Negro constitution. It's no anything that gives you a right to say, I am a black person, because in kindergarten I argued that down to a T and I said I was brown. So make a long story short, only way that you will have rights or vested rights is to have a divine constitution that supports your nationality, what nation you belong to.
Right.
And that's
good,
the only
teaching.
problem.
Khalif, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from North Carolina at this particular time, but I used to live in D.C. all of my life.
All right, North Carolina by D.C. by way of North Carolina. Thank you so much for that call. That's a topic that kind of we can touch on and go on and on for maybe weeks, because it's like the whole nations within a nation scenario, and some of us believe that we're not we're not black, we're Moors and Hebrews and Africans and all that, but that's a whole nother topic. But thank you so much for chiming in. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Khalif.
Yep. Let's see. We are like for every one male baby born, 10 females are born. Okay, that's interesting. We have so many other dynamics without this paradigm, let alone introduce the lifestyle with all the other things going on in our community. I think he's talking about sisterhood. I mean the polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the polygamy. Yeah. So let's see. Edward. Eddie said American black women are not going to go for that. Though I agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we went into why. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one standing here raising my hands. I'm like, I'm ready to be a sister wife.
Right. I was in a conversation. I was in a discussion on Facebook about it, and the guy sent me a message asking me,
"Can you be a sister wife?"
And I said, right. And I said, well, I will definitely say I still have some residual stuff.
Yeah.
So to delve right into, no.
Interesting.
But to have an understanding and appreciation for it, yes, I completely understand and appreciate.
I agree.
And respect.
Same here. Yeah. It took me listening to get to that point, though.
Mm-hmm.
It took me listening because I think we're so on one side of it, without listening to the people who do it, and they do it successfully. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people outside of this culture and within, and that's their culture, their way of life. And they don't have half the issues we have. Okay, so Judah said women are deciding to be with each other and buy relationships. It's a huge number. This is real. There is a physical doctrine that is not being discussed here. Again, that goes into another question I had, which was what it said, is lesbianism considered sisterhood?
So are we saying that because of that number, the 10-1 dynamic, that is one of the solutions that women are kind of finding, or that's what's happening as maybe one of the solutions or one of the effects of the 10-1 dynamic, is that women are turning to lesbianism? Is that what we're saying?
I don't. Is that what you guys are saying, Judah? Is that what you're saying? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't fall in that category.
Right. But the reality is that we live in a time where yesterday someone was straight and today they're not, and you see it a lot in females. We're going all the way even down to high schoolers, middle schoolers. But we're talking about women where they're saying, I still like men, but I also like women now, and those are the females sometimes you want to have a conversation with, or women who have given birth. And I'm talking about with a number of kids, and then today they're full-blown lesbian, or
I know a number of people that way.
absolutely Absolutely.
personally
Absolutely.
in my circle who have done that. You know,
I don't know if the impact of that is necessary. I think there's a lot of other factors involved in that. And I think a big one is also hurt, pain.
Yeah.
You
Hurt
know,
from what, men?
Yes. Yes.
And so they're tired of being hurt from men, so they go to a woman.
I think a part of you see women where it's like I'm tired. Exactly. You know, I think that's just one factor.
Yeah.
I'm talking about adult women going in that direction where they're not saying I don't like men anymore, but now they're also dealing with women. You know,
That's an interesting topic
Yeah.
again in and of itself. I
Yeah.
would love to have that discussion. I would love to bring in some women who are in that, are currently dealing with that today, that they were once married or had children, and and now they are in a relationship with a woman, and the dynamics involved in that. Why do they get that way? I heard Minister Farrakhan break it down one time. He was saying the same kind of similar what you were saying, that men, they get dogged out so often and frequently by men, and then here's another woman that comes in, understands her pain, assures her in ways that men don't, because as another woman you understand, what makes a woman tick, and they are drawn to that, like out of just wanting love and compassion that they're not getting elsewhere.
And we live in a society now to where sisterhood, somehow you can be really tight with a female. And I know I had this issue with my best friend. We hang out with each other a lot, and I don't know if it's the way we interact, but we have been asked, or people have thought that we were together. So that's the time we're living in too. And speaking of sisterhood, to where you can have sisterhood, good, healthy, and because we have normalized unhealthiness, distorted completely,
minds.
that when you see unhealthy functioning friendship between two women, you inject some sort of into it.
That's true. I think that comes from the distortion of this, what we see, this society and all the things that come along with the whole media thing, and all that destruction, and so we take it in. So when we see something, like you said, it goes into that. That's interesting. Did you have another something you
No, I
wanted to
think
build
we're
upon?
covering everything. I mean, we talked about the competition, the jealousy, some of the barriers to building genuine sisterhood.
Yeah. So how do we tighten our bonds, you think?
Yes.
What's the solution to this great divide among us as women?
The first step is knowledge of self to me, always. Always. And understanding the importance of the feminine, and balance. And balance. Sisterhood does not need to be anti-men. That's not what female sisterhood does not have to be anti-men. And sometimes that can end up happening because there's so much, again, going back to self, there's so much pain and hurt. And we can help each other through that. We can help each other heal. But we have to talk. We have to talk about it, and we have to be comfortable with vulnerability, and we have to be okay with transparency.
Right.
And a lot of us are living from a very shallow place.
Yes.
We're not letting each other in. We're not
That's
talking
true.
because we're so afraid of being judged. And
Trust.
rightly so. Trust.
And
That's
the
what it
trust
comes
factor.
right back to that.
Our trust fact is very weak. We come into the a newfound relationship with the
Yes.
I'm looking at you side-eyed, as opposed to being wide open. But I understand that too, because it's like when you've been burnt for so long and so many times, now here's a newfound relationship of any kind, sister, man or woman. Your first thought is, I got to protect myself because I don't want to be burnt again. So I get it, but I think that like you said, it's a barrier.
Yeah, it's a barrier. And I think, again, being vulnerable and being transparent is a step towards building healthy, woman-to-woman relationship. I personally think so. Because we're not, as Black women, vulnerability is like a curse word. We're not trying to be vulnerable out here. I mean, not even amongst ourselves. We're just not doing it.
Right.
It's like painful for us to do. And again, the trust factor is involved as well.
Right.
A lot of females have been betrayed by other females their entire life. And now you're asking them at 40 to trust you know, and try to build sisterhood, and they have actually isolated themselves from the idea
Right.
of that. You know,
Right.
so there's a lot of healing that has to be done, and we can help each other do it.
Right.
But we have to take the step in first acknowledging that we need healing, you know, and then second, finding out, seek sisters out who are on the path that you want to be on. You know, you don't want to be around people who you are vulnerable and they take your vulnerability and use it as gossip and an ammunition against you. You know, seek people out who you know have your best interest in mind. And whatever it is that you want to do, if you're trying to surround yourself with positivity, if that means abandoning your circle that you've had since you were young, so be it.
In order to get healthy.
Exactly. And you know, it doesn't mean that those people have to be completely cut off, but you need to isolate yourself until you have the strength to go back into that circle and not be influenced by the negativity.
Yeah, and I think again, all that you just stated rolls right back into the knowledge of self.
Yes.
You can't get away from that. You can't get away from that because it's like that's the basis. That's the basis of everything else. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys. It's 3:00.
Yeah.
On the nose. So there you have it. Topic today was on sisterhood. We kind of veered a little bit.
Yes, we
Came
did.
back, veered a little bit. But that's how we do here on the Empower
Yeah.
Hour.
And next week we have an awesome show on co-parenting.
Co-parenting.
We're bringing in a guest, a brother, and he is going to be speaking about child support, co-parenting, what they have a program that they have set up for non-custodial parents,
I'm so
teaching them how
curious.
to maneuver the child support system. So yes, please tune in. I'm super
so
excited.
curious.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited about this upcoming show too. So if you guys have some, challenges, or you do it well, or co-parenting with
Absolutely.
with an ex, then you want to tune in to this because it'll be helpful information. And we have a new Facebook page. It is the Empower Hour. Please like our Facebook page. There you'll be able to get all the past episodes that you haven't seen, or you want to just go in at any time and chime in and see us, what we talked about. This is maybe like me and Hanifa's 8th or 9th episode we've done together. So you can find all those episodes, previous ones, on our Empower Hour. What is it? Is that the name of the Facebook page? I'm so bad. It's
The Empower Hour.
the Empower Hour talk show.
Yes.
Talk show is the name of the Facebook. You'll see me and Hanifa's picture up when you get there. But please help us out. Like the page, share the information. If you hear something in this information that that resonated with your spirit, share it. Share it with other people because that's what we're here for. We're here to kind of, communicate and get the word out so we can build up. That's our ultimate goal. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
And until next time, you can catch us right back here every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Peace.